As- Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today I will discuss a topic from Economics second paper, chapter 4, Population, Human Resource and Self-Employment. From this chapter, my discussion topic is Malthusian theory of population. From all the theories of population, this Malthusian theory of population is very much renowned theory. So let us know about this theory. First, let us know about Thomas Robert Malthus, who is the British economist who first proposed a systematic theory of population. He articulated his views regarding population in his famous book Essay on the Principle of Population in 1798. He incorporated his researches in the second edition of his essay published in 1803. So, my dear students, we must remember the name of this renowned book, Essay on the Principle of Population, where he articulated his views regarding population. So, let us know the assumptions of his theory. The Malthusian theory explains the relationship between the growth in food supply and population. He states that population increases much faster than food supply. So, if it is unchecked, that population increases faster than food supply. If this situation is unchecked, then the situation leads to vice or misery. Malthusian theory of population depends on the following assumptions. Number 1, supply of food is limited. Marginal diminishing law of return is applicable in agriculture. So, marginal diminishing law of return means actually, in a piece of land, the more and more input we apply, though we will not get more output. Rather, we will get decreasing amount of output in return with time. That means this is because there is a fixed capacity of fertility of soil, so that though more and more input is applied, but the same land sorry gives decreasing amount of return or decreasing amount of output. Sorry. Only production system is agriculture. There is no other production system. Production capacity of land is fixed. Technology of production is also fixed in that time. The attraction between male and female is eternal and controlled. These are the assumptions of his theory. Now let us see the main view of the Malthusian theory. The Malthusian theory explains the relationship between the growth in food supply and population. He states that population increases in geometric progression, and if it is unchecked, then every 25 years this size of population turns to double. Thus, starting from population 1, in successive periods of 25 years, we will get the population like 1. Then after 25 years, it gets double, that is 2. Then again after 25 years, 2 will turn to 4. Then 4 will turn to 8. And 8 will turn to 16. That means after 100 years, population will turn from 1 to 16 in size. And in this way, after 200 years, we will get the population 256. That is from 16 to 32 double. Then again after 25 years 32 turns to double 64. Then 64 turns to double 128. Then again after 25 years it turns to double 256. That means after 20 years the population will turn from the size 1 to 256. And by this way, after 300 years it will get 4096. So in this way, if population increases is unchecked or not controlled, then every 25 years it turns to double. On the other hand, the food supply increases in slow arithmetic progression due to the operation of the law of diminishing returns in land. Because sometimes ago in assumption we have seen that supply of land is fixed and also fertility of land is also limited. It gives a diminishing returns though more and more input is applied in the same land, and this is called operation of the law of diminishing returns in land. And for that reason there is slow progression in food supply. Thus, the food supply in successive similar periods of 25 years will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this way, food supply increases by every 25 years. That is, 1 will turn to 2, 2 will turn to 3, 3 will turn to 4, 4 will turn to 5. In this way, after 100 years, food supply will increase from 1 to 5 only. Again after 200 years we see 5 will turn to 6 in 25 years, and again by 25 years 6 will turn to 7, 7 will turn to 8, 8 will turn to 9. In this way after 20 years we get the increase in food supplies from 1 to 9. And just in this way after 300 years we will get the food supply increases to 13, that is from 1 to 13. But here in the when we see the population increases after 300 years we get the population from 1 to 4096, but food supply from 1 to 13 only. So how much gap we see between population increase and food supply increase? So this is a matter of wariness. Since population increases in geometric progression, that is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 20, 32, 64, this way, and the food supply increases in arithmetic progression, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this way, population tends to outrun food supply. Thus an imbalance is created in the society which leads to overpopulation. So let us analyze the theory with the schedule. Here we see 3 rows. One row is for year 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. In this way 125, 150, 175, then 200. In this way it turns to 300. So here we see that year increases by 25 years. 25 years is taken as unit. Then population growth. Let us see the increase in population growth, that is in geometric way, that is 1, 2, 2 turns to double 4, 4 turns to double 8, 8 turns to double 16, this way. So in 200 years it turns to 256, and in 300 it turns to 300 years the population size turns to 4096. Then let us see the increase in food production. By every 25 years, food production increase in arithmetic way, that arithmetic progression like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 100 years, it is 5. And then in 200 years, it turns to 9. And in 300 years, it turns to 13. So here, the difference is very clear to us. By 100 years, food production is 5, but population size 16. Then when it turns to 200 years, food production increases from 5 to 9 only, but population size is then 256. Again in 300 years, food production is 13, but population size is 4096. So the great becomes greater and greater. Now the same thing we can check by graphical explanation. Here we see that there are two axes. In the horizontal axis, years are measured, where 25 years has been considered as an unit. See, 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 125. This way, by 25 years it increases. And in the vertical axis, population and food production, population increase and food production increase, both are measured in the vertical axis. And here we have taken the unit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in this way. Now in the graph we see that we have plotted the increase of food production by UF line by stepping ahead every 25 years. And population increase also we have plotted at every successive 25 years, and we get this UP line. So in the figure it is seen that at point A, let us say at point A, we see that this UF line and UP line intersect each other at A point. That means at first 25 years, here population and food production and population, this becomes equal at A point. But after A point, we see that population is increasing at a rapid way, but food production increases very slowly. And after point A, we see that food production increases and population increases. These two lines moves far away from each other, and this distance is shown by A, B, C point, and this line is for the year 100. That is when it is 100 year, from 25 to 50, 50 to 70, 75 to 100, we see the gap becomes bigger, and when it comes to 100 years, then the gap is very big, that is BC. So the distance we can measure by this shaded area, that is ABC in the diagram. In this way, the gap becomes bigger if population growth is not controlled. If population growth is not checked or controlled, then the gap becomes bigger and the food production will be very less than the need of the overpopulation. So country suffers a lot from this short of food. So to correct this situation, Malthus suggested two checks. To correct the gap between population growth and food production, Malthus suggested two checks. Number one is preventive check. That is, people can follow this procedure like late marriage, then moral restraint for less reproduction, etc. This is preventive check. And number two is positive check. That is, if people do not follow the preventive check, then there will be vice, misery, war, famine, disease, epidemic, etc. So many people will be killed by war, vice, misery for food, and also there will be famine, disease, epidemic, etc. for which many people will die. And so that in this way, if people do not follow preventive check, then nature will take the revenge and positive check will happen. In this way, uh, many people will die and automatically population will reduce. But if people do not want this, if people do not choose this positive check, then they need to do the preventive check. This is the suggestion of Malthus. Let us see what he said about preventive and positive checks. Malthus stated that if people fail to check growth of population by the adoption of preventive checks, positive checks operate in the form of vice, misery, famine, war, flood, epidemic, and other natural calamities which tend to reduce population and thereby bring a balance with food supply. According to Malthus, preventive checks are always in operation in a civilized society. Okay, civilized society understand well and they will try to follow the preventive check. They will marry late, they will control them morally. So, and positive checks are very crude. So Malthus appealed to his countrymen to adopt preventive checks in order to avoid vice or misery resulting from the positive checks. So we have come to know many things about Malthusian theory, but there are some criticism also. Like we see, if living standard of any country becomes high, then growth of population turns slow. So population increases in geometric progression. This early vision of Malthus is not true for the rich countries. Okay, as Malthusian theory, actually this is very early times visions, as Malthus is the person of early period. So he could not think actually about the population control by artificial way. So he showed only natural way. So if living standard of any country becomes high, then growth of population turns slow. We see it in the present world. So population increases in geometric progression. This early vision of Malthus is not true for the rich countries. Also, Malthus stated the theory basing on a static law, that is diminishing returns to scale in production of land. But in practical agricultural invention over a period of time, like invention of biochemical fertilizer, high-yielding variety seeds or HIV seeds, irrigation, power supply using modern technology can result to 2 to 3 times more production than before in the same land. So food production increases in slow arithmetic way is proved wrong with time. Malthus only considered population from the aspect of quantity, not from the aspect of quality. He viewed people with hungry mouth and stomach, but he did not consider their hands of works, which can widen the opportunity of earning. So his view is criticized by many economists as his pessimistic view. Now in the world, increase in population is not the big problem. Efficient production and equitable distribution of resources is the greater problem now than that. Now if food deficiency arises in any country of the world, countries which have surplus food can help them. So international trade can solve the food problem. One country can help other, which Malthus could not think in his period. So these are the criticism by many economists, but we have to judge more to conclude. Oh, there is another point of criticism, that is countries which prosper in education and culture have several factors to enjoy the life. So geometric increase in population growth is not possible there, where people engage themselves or involve themselves in many other activities. So beside criticism, we can judge also his uh, theory as, despite some weaknesses we have seen, Malthusian theory contains much truth or real fact. His statement may not be applicable for developed countries like Western Europe and England, but its principal tools have become the part and parcel of the less developed countries like us. He opened our eyes regarding keeping balance between food production and population growth. Otherwise, people of the world will face severe misery. He made us aware of searching substitute source of food and energy as they are limited in supply. So it can be said application of his theory is justified for underdeveloped and developing countries still at present. So my dear students, my today's discussion on this theory, Malthusian theory of population. I hope this discussion will help you to understand this theory properly. So thank you very much. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.